I recently got some tactical training out here in North Dakota, and if you're not getting out there and actually trying to learn these skills and find out what you suck at, then you're not doing yourself a service. It's very important to actually get out there, have somebody else teach you what it is you need to learn, and show you the right skills in order to be more efficient when that time comes. And preppers have a bad habit of acquiring a lot of equipment and spending a bunch of money on gear, and ammunition, and different types of accessories, but not testing it out. When I say testing it out, static at the shooting range doesn't actually do that for you. Yes, you might get a baseline idea of as to where your equipment is in the sense of reliability or function, but you won't find out what you do or don't like based on actual movement, based on actual technique, and based on actual stress factors while you're out there doing drills and having somebody else push you in the sense of goals and times. Getting training is extremely important for that reason. And I recently got some good training. I took a carbine novice class out here in North Dakota from the Concealed Journey, which is a new company that was put together by a bunch of guys who realized there was a void out here for training of that type, and that more people need to be on board for their preparedness, for their ability to defend themselves, and for what's happening in the world right now, and understanding the concept as to why people like you and I have things like this in order to deal with what might happen in the future. So I just wanted to remind you guys of how important that is. And I will go ahead and switch over to an interview I did with one of the trainers at the Concealed Journey, so you can just kind of see what it is they're trying to accomplish and why it's something you need to be doing no matter where you are, whether or not you're on the West Coast, East Coast, or in a different country. If you have access to self-defense training, whether or not it's firearms related or even just martial arts of some kind, get out there and find out what you're bad at, because in just taking a carbine novice class, which was something that I definitely was aware of but needed some tuning, I found out a lot about myself that needed improvement, and I found out a lot about my gear that I either did or did not like, and I also found out a lot about basic fundamentals that I needed to get better at rather than just assuming I'd be okay during a stressful situation. So let's shoot over to that interview, and hopefully this helps remind you guys why this is all so important, because I guarantee you that once you get out there and start doing things, as Damien liked to call it, cool guy stuff, you'll find out very quickly what you really need to work on and why your gear might actually just suck. Yeah, this should be good. I think so. I don't know. I look more rugged this way. You know.
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, fucking pop it.
Yeah. I don't know about that actually. Yeah, let's fix that.
Yeah,
All right.
good.
All right. So I am here. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Damien. I am essentially, my title at the Concealed Journey is secretary, but that doesn't really have any application.
Pretty good looking secretary.
Yeah, I'm the secretary at the Concealed Journey. We started that about a year ago. It initially actually started 2 or 3 years ago, just as like a hobby Instagram page for our president, Corey, and he was just posting pictures of concealed carry items, and as he was going through getting new holsters and tips and tricks and stuff like that, got a different job, got really busy, kind of went dormant. Then he moved up here close to where we are. We met each other through church, and he started training with us a little bit more, and then kind of asked us to like be a part of it as just a social media page at first, and then we're all kind of like, well, do you want to like make this an entity in a way? And we had looked for other firearms training in the area and noticed that we had to go to South Dakota to actually find like the nearest relevant firearms training. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, so I was introduced to Damien through the Concealed Journey, which is obviously a training group that I was part of last week, where I did a novice carbine class, which was really fun and also showed me a lot of what I needed to work on. Because if you're out there pretending like you know what you're doing, all you have to do is take a class and you'll find out really quickly that you don't.
Sure.
And luckily I was invited back to hang out with Damien today to do some more drills and really try to improve on what it is I'm trying to learn. And I think a lot of you out there are interested in the same type of training and courses, and I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because here in North Dakota, like you said, there really wasn't many options, right?
There's really not. Down in the capital city, there is some occasional training, but I just like to implore training in general. Whether you get it through us, if you're local to North Dakota, that'd be fantastic. We'd love to have you out. We'd love to shoot with you, as we're shooting with Magic Prepper here now. And it's just a good time. Like today wasn't like student instructor day. Today was just come out and shoot with us and see the kind of drills that we run, and you're gonna learn some things, and we want to push it and watch where the wheels fall off, and we'll diagnose it a little bit.
Well, and honestly, I think for a lot of people, we have a lot of questions. We're building out kits, we're figuring out loadouts, we want to set up our rifles, and you really don't know if what you're doing is going to work for you until you come out and put it into practice, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you gave me some pointers today about some of my gear and some of my, even just my stance and my positioning as to like, hey, this isn't going to work for you if you wanted to unless you change some things around. And without that, second opinion, I would have just, suffered through something that I didn't need to deal with, basically,
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you're able to roll it through a bunch of different applications, shooting from different positions, right, then that's where you can really find, like, maybe how you've been doing just static, standing dry fire in your basement. If you even do that, hopefully you do. It's great practice, and that's coming from an instructor. Like, you should be doing way more dry fire, and then come out and do this. Just like, dry fire is, I would say, supplementary to actual live fire, but it's not a replacement by any means.
Exactly.
It is not the substitute. But do more of that. But as you're doing dry fire, static in your house, you don't get other elements like running uphill, you know what I mean, and actually covering 50 yards back and forth, and notice like what needs to be tighter. Like, this can't ride here anymore because it's digging into my ribs.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever going prone, and optic placement, just whatever, like this is where all of that stuff gets found out.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like, especially for me, somebody who's gone through a lot of different gear and a lot of different setups, it was really nice to have like real experience behind a rifle coming at me with, actual wisdom about why it is I want to do something a certain way, or how I can accomplish my goal of what I'm trying to do with a certain platform. You know?
Absolutely.
So one thing I would definitely want to kind of address is the fact that this is a part of preparedness. Being prepared is often, like you said, food and water and medical and that kind of stuff is always going to be very important. But if you don't have somebody who can protect that investment, then you have to expect to lose it at some point, right? Because that's just kind of where we are in the world these days. And I think if you're looking for a place to up your preparedness and to like learn more about firearms and how you're going to implement them if the time comes, and how you're going to exercise and practice with those firearms, this has been a good experience for me.
Awesome.
So if people were to try to find you guys, like, where would they go?
You can go to our website. Our website is theconcealedjourney.com, and on there it's going to have links to our social medias as well, our YouTube as well, but that's going to have our class schedules, whether you have absolutely no experience with firearms, or if you've been doing this for years and you want to be shooting around barricades and running dirty diamonds with us or something like that. We've got a variety. Hopefully we have something that appeals to you. If not, social media, same handle, The Concealed Journey, all together, one word, no punctuation, no uppercase. And then Facebook and YouTube is all the same. The Concealed Journey.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, we've got all the social medias.
I think that the biggest thing I've learned over last week and then coming out here this week is that if you're not actually out here doing this stuff, if you're not running around with your rifle, if you're not shooting at multiple distances, getting winded, sweating, trying to make this all come together and still operate in a proficient manner, you will not be able to. That's what I figured out. You know?
Like, it doesn't just magically happen. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like hope that you'll be great when the time comes, that you have the endurance that you need, you have the accuracy, you know what your holds are in your scope, you know what I mean? You understand how to actually use your white light sling, swim in and out of your sling. Like, it doesn't just, you have to burn it in through reps out here as best as you can.
And that's the thing. You got to get out and get other opinions and other advice, and then move to that next level,
Yeah, for sure.
So thanks for coming out here.
Thanks
for doing the video here with me, Damien. And if you guys have any questions for me specifically about it, go to magicpepper.com, send me a contact form, and I'll let you know about my experience. And like I said, look up The Concealed Journey, check them out, and get involved so you can get out there and actually see if your stuff is going to work the way you want it to.
Yeah, super important. Yeah, you gotta like put it to the test.
Yeah, and otherwise you're going to suck, just like I did. So
yeah,
thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
This is a ton of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll do it again, all right?
Absolutely. Figuring out who needs to go where.
North Dakota win.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.